Yeah.
In the press pack, there's a connection between the film The Wrestler and The Black Swan. Just wondered if you could explain a little about that in terms of the body injuries and dedication in both the films.
Well, when we started working, when we were cutting Wrestler and we really got into revitalizing the film, because we had been developing it for about 8 years actively, and it kind of died during the Wrestler, and then one of the producers on The Wrestler, Mark Heyman, who was also my director of development, said he wanted to write something, and I said, what do you think of the ballet project? And he got deep into it and said, there's a lot of similarities between this and The Wrestler, and I wasn't afraid of them. I thought it was an interesting thing, because one's about the highest art, and one's about the lowest art, if you want to call wrestling an art, which most people don't, but, that's an argument for a different press conference. But, I think they're both about performers and about performance, and both performers, put their bodies before their health and age and their physicality is the big challenge to that. And I just thought it was very interesting that they could both be about. Stop messing with me, guys, over here. Nothing. I can see you guys messing with me. You're not teasing me? Okay, sorry. I'm very paranoid with these guys over here. Anyway, so that was sort of the take on the connections.
I was going to ask something else, but I'd like to ask Mila and Vincent, why does Darren get paranoid? Is there some history here on set?
Probably payback.
Vincent's usually hiding my meds. That's what it is.
I think all directors are like that. Let's not think that directors are normal people. Do you agree with me?
I don't know any of the directors. You're an expert in that. So.
Sorry, down here.
Hi, hello, congratulations. I loved the film and was very moved by all of it, and the sound as well. I thought it was very effective. And I had a question for Darren, and I was wondering, taking on board Black Swan and the other projects you've been doing along the years, what kind of advice would you give to filmmakers that are trying to strive to be in the position that you're in today?
The only thing I think new filmmakers have to offer is originality, and so that's what I would, push, starting filmmakers, is just try to do something different, because that's what you can offer the world. And then persistence is a huge part of the game. So a combination of those two things is what will work.
Thanks. Hi guys, thanks for bringing your film to the festival. I was wondering how during the rehearsal period that helped not just build the acting but also the dancing, if that informed on your characters and how you were going to be directed and so on.
Mila?
Well, I think it was important for everybody to do a little bit of dancing. I think that the way a ballerina holds herself is very specific, and you can only fake that so much. So I think, I personally, needed to have my collarbone show and certain bones protrude, and Darren made me lose weight, so it was great. No, but for the it all made sense. Like, the way that they just hold their arms and their shoulders are always tucked back, and the rib cage is always tucked in and a little bit out. I think definitely helped the character. Yeah.
Just to be clear, did I ever ask you
No.
anything?
It was a joke. Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Just to be clear.
I'm sorry, what's the question? It's about dancing, yeah. Well, as you've seen, I don't dance that much in the movie. But I could have, actually. At a certain point, there's one scene where I direct Natalie's character, and I don't know why, but I thought, reading the script, that would be some kind of a dancing scene. But I've seen Michael Baryshnikov directing a young dancer, and he wasn't moving at all. He was only slightly showing what he was doing. So when we got on the set, we got into that vibe where actually the dancing wasn't really required, and it was more about, helping her, following her, and that looked more like an ex-dancer than if I started to prove, that I could spin around or stuff like that. So, but I did train 17 years ago, as you can see.
Hi, a question for Darren. As the director of Black Swan, could you tell me what, in terms of creativity, have been the biggest challenges or perhaps even struggles you faced of making this film?
Well, it was a really difficult film to make. After The Wrestler, and everyone was like, what are you doing making a film about wrestling with Mickey Rourke? And we had, the success we've had with it. I thought it would get easier having, Natalie Portman and Vincent Cassel and Mila Kunis and Winona Ryder, but it was very, very difficult. It was probably raising the money, and Scott can talk more about this, was harder than raising the money on The Wrestler. And I think 2 weeks out, the money fell apart. And I don't even know if my actors knew this after training for months and months. But then we were very lucky, and we quickly got Fox Searchlight to come in with a few hands and knees begging. And then it was very, very difficult. I mean, because we had so little money, every single day was really difficult. There was never an easy day. Every day was like, oh my gosh, we have to do all of that today. And then the next day was like, oh my gosh, we have to do that. So it was like, how many days? 41 days, Scott? 42 days of a huge hustle. And then, of course, all the money that ended up while we were shooting meant there was no money for post. And we have over 300 visual effects shots. And it was so, basically it was really, really hard until now. Now we're here at this fancy hotel, and suddenly there's money. So